So we were halfway through, in which Krishna is recommending perform your duty. So it is better to perform your duty than just not working. And then that food cycle, this annat bhavati bhutani parjanat annasmavha, that the sloka we saw, in which the Jivatma performs yajna through as a karma, and through yajna rain comes, and from the rain grains come, and through the grains again the Jivatma takes it and then offers it again to the yajna, and then through the yajna again rain comes. So it's a cycle that we saw, right? So the devatas being pleased with them, parasparam, the cooperation between the devatas and the human society, they get into offering, and then they accept the offering, and then so that the Jivatma will continue to perform as per the prescribed duties, follow the Vedas, and do Karma Yoga. Okay, so that is where we saw that portion. And last two slokas is all about having those food without offering to the Devata. So that also we saw. So without offering to the Lord means what is that? It is nothing but
eating sin.
Eating sin. Okay, so and then if you don't offer it, then that is more. It is first thing is it is more of stena. It is you are considered a thief if you don't offer anything. So first thing. See, if you don't even offer and just take it without offering, then it is more of a sin. Okay, so this sloka is where we saw 15 sloka, all related to principles. Karma brahmodbhavam vidhi brahmakshara samudbhavam tasmat sarvagatam brahma nityam yajna pradishritam. So regulative principles. So whatever regulative activities, whatever we are trying to do, yajna artha karma, which means whatever the karma that has been defined by through the Vedas, regulative principles, that it is directly from the Karma Brahma Udbhavam. So Brahma Udbhavam means coming out of Lord Brahma, which means that is all directly transcendentally coming from the Supreme Lord. Okay. So Tasmat Sarvagatam Brahma Nityam Yajna Pradishtitam. So everything is more of a sacrifice. So whatever action that we try to do is more of a sacrifice, so that in terms of whatever that we try to do through the actions, it has to be performed as a sacrifice. So Arjuna, when he was saying that I will not fight, I am going to this one, Krishna is saying, no, you have to do your duty. You have to perform your duty as a matter of sacrifice, right? For example, parents, as a matter of sacrifice, they do a lot of activities for the welfare of their children, right? For the welfare of their relatives, for the welfare of their parents, for the welfare of the society. So in one way or the other, whatever action that we try to do is more of a sacrifice only. But how we are trying to perform that sacrifice and to whom it is being offered is more important. So I do all these actions just for my own benefit or my own karma or my own sense gratification, then it is called as Sakama Karma Yoga. Okay. So what we have to move away is from Sakama Karma Yoga to Nishkama Karma Yoga. Sakama means full of desire. Nishkama means no desire for sense gratification. Okay. But still that is not sufficient. So I don't have desire, but still I have whether I have offered it to the Lord, that is more important. So without attachment is also very important, right? So that is what Krishna is continuing in this particular section. So through the translation, you will see the meaning, and Prabhupada through his purpose, he wants to emphasize that your karma yoga will be completely perfect only if you follow through Krishna conscious way. Okay, so that is what he is also trying to emphasize. So we'll continue with sloka number 16. Yeah. Evam pravrittim chakram nanuvatyat yaham agayurindriya ramo mogam partha sanjivati. Yeah, somebody want to read the translation?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah, Madhu.
My dear Arjuna, one who does not follow in human life the cycle of sacrifice thus established by the Vedas certainly leads a life full of sin. Living only for the satisfaction of the senses, such a person lives in vain.
Okay.
Should I read purport, Prabhuji?
This line on this first paragraph.
Okay, Prabhuji. Purport: the Mammonist philosophy of work very hard and enjoy sense gratification is condemned herein by the Lord. Therefore, for those who want to enjoy this material world, the above mentioned cycle of performing yajna is absolutely necessary. Hare
So
Krishna.
our cycle of following the regulated principles, performing the yajna, we get rain, and through rain we get grain, and through grain we are getting satisfied. So that is how, that is why in our whole in our parampara, in our system of old tradition, if you see, performance of yajna is considered very important because we offer it to the Lord. We get an opportunity to give a thanksgiving back to the devatas, and through which they are also satisfied. The Supreme Lord also is getting whatever that we wanted to offer, and then finally it goes to, I mean, from a cycle perspective, it goes as rain, and then rain comes back. When rain comes back, it brings the grains. So in that way, it is a cycle. And then whomsoever is not following this human cycle of sacrifice, as established by Vedas, very nicely it is mentioned. Okay, Indriya Aramaha. Indriya Arama means like completely satisfied in the senses. So if that is a event, that is what it is, completely full of aga ayuhu. Ayu means, no, Ayu means lifetime. Aga Ayu means completely full of sinful life. So that is what Prabhupada always says. The so-called Yavanas and Milichas of whomsoever are the atheists who never follow the religious principles, who never accept the even Sunyavadis also, who never accept the Vedas, are considered with life full of sinful life. Whatever be it, even though outwardly they do a lot of nice activity, everything, but still they are considered as full of sinful activities. Okay, so one should not therefore limit his progress only by point of moral, but also transcend them to attain them. So, for example, in our college days or school days, there will be value education and moral science class and all. But that moral science and value education is for what? Ideally, generally, when you say moral science or values, what is that is required? Generally, when we say good values, right? Like there's so many good values are there. So what is it for?
For good interactions materially.
Interactions materially. Nice, correct. Then anybody else?
Good values in the sense, Prabhuji, ki what is right and what is wrong.
Correct.
To understand that, and then accordingly we need to do things. And how to talk with others, what should be our language to speak to elders, how to respect others, and वो दया भाव जो होता है, that should be there in a human being. All these things we learn in this value education class, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Correct. Nice. Okay. So the daya bhav, the respect. So all these things are understandably what to live peacefully in this material life. Not to get into any fight, not to get this one, to be very happy, santushta, to be very satisfied, to be very calmly living. So we need some moral values. We follow some rules and regulations. We develop some culture, develop some characteristics. But beyond this thing is bhakti, which is more important. So that is why karma yoga is at one level only. But beyond that karma yoga portion, we have to get into other activities. So that is why, very importantly, we need to see how we are going. That is why Prabhupada is mentioning such principles are counted as only as moral codes. One should not limit his progress only to the moral code, but should transcend them to attain Krishna consciousness. So we need to go above that. So above that means, yeah, you have all that Brahminical qualities, you have all that nice qualities, but beyond that is the Vaishnava quality of getting the mercy of the Supreme Lord, of having that loving relationship with the Supreme Lord. So then that is more beneficial and good. Okay, so generally in normal, in our way of life, also say this person is a very nice person, but at the end of the day, that nice person, that good characteristics, if it is not directed towards the Supreme Lord, then it goes in vain, right? All he will do is again come back in his material life with a nice family, with more of other good qualities, everything. But still, it is not enough, right? So that is why Prabhupada is emphasizing being good is one thing, being best is much more better, right? So what is the best is to get into the way of what Krishna wants us to do. Okay, so that is where we need to follow. Okay, 17th sloka. So one who has to perform his duty. But here there's another contradictory sloka which says, oh, if one is, can somebody read the purport translation? Yeah.
For one who takes pleasure in the self, whose human life is one of self-realization, and who is satisfied in the self only, fully satiated, for him there is no duty.
Okay, read the purport also.
A person who is fully Krishna conscious and is fully satisfied by his acts in Krishna consciousness no longer has any duty to perform. Due to his being Krishna conscious, all impiety within is instantly cleansed, an effect of many, many thousands of yajna performances. By such clearing of consciousness, one becomes fully confident of his eternal position and relationship with the Supreme. His duty thus becomes self illuminated by the grace of the Lord, and therefore he no longer has any obligations to the Vedic injunctions. Such a Krishna conscious person is no longer interested in material activities and no longer takes pleasure in material arrangements like wine, woman, and similar infatuations.
Thank you. So this is another set of people in the society like who are completely dedicated their lives for the Supreme Lord. So one way is some group of people who don't follow anything, who will never abide by the rules and regulations. They will just go do all kind of vikarma activities. They will definitely eat. They will definitely have sin. They will have an irregulated life. They'll do a lot of things. The other one is regulated life, following the principles. Then they will get. This is this group of people who is like so they have to follow rules and regulations. But these people who are beyond that, who was completely self-realized, who knows what is that, and then they are fully satisfied with whatever they want, and then they are dedicated their lives completely for the Supreme Lord. For them, there is no specific thing that they have to follow certain rules and regulations in terms of obligation to the devatas, or in terms of obligation to the society, or in terms of obligation to the mankind. Because they are transcendent to this material world, still they will be in the material world, but their focus and attention is always on the Supreme Lord. They are completely satisfied, and then there is no what do you say? There is no specific need for them to follow certain procedures. But otherwise, whomsoever is following this rules and regulations under the guidance of the Vedic injections, they will follow this one. Okay, so there are three categories. The third category is more of the sannyasis and rishis and persons who have already dedicated full-time devotees who don't have any family, who don't have anything, but still they follow the principles that will just satisfy the Supreme Lord. That's all. So they are not morally obligated to anybody. Okay.
Prabhu, a bit of contradiction. 315, 316, 17. At one point, Prabhupada is saying you pray to Devadas. Indirectly, you pray to Krishna. So then now he said, then you're Krishna conscious, regulatory principle. Then a bit confusing here is that can you still go to Devadas and still be focused on Krishna conscious? Where we draw a line here, I don't understand.
So we have to see from what is Krishna's way of seeing and Prabhupada's way of seeing. Okay, so Krishna will gradually, he's taking one step at a time to make somebody understand. So what is Krishna saying? Oh, first follow these principles, perform yajna, perform this yajna for the devatas, so that you both are satisfied. You will follow rules and regulations. Then slowly give a detachment. Then give everything to me. So he is following that principle. So that particular person will perform karma yoga in the name of following the rules and regulations, scriptures, and then offering to the devatas, and he is satisfied. So that he will get into the nishkama karma yoga without attachment, and then offering. So that is one line. What Prabhupada is saying is, if you start following the Krishna conscious way, in which you follow the same rules and regulations, you are offering to devatas, but actually you are directly offering to the Supreme Lord. If you start following that from the beginning itself, then you don't have to really worry about what is happening for the devatas, or what is whether I'm following this or not. All those things will be encompassed, or it will be taken care when we directly get into karma yoga with the Krishna conscious philosophy of performing the activities without attachment, at the same time offering directly to the Supreme Lord. Okay, yes, so that is what I was telling. Translation wise, Krishna will gradually make one progress. Prabhupada wants it like very quick for the for the readers or for the devotees or whomsoever is taking, oh, you don't have to go step by step, just to go in the Krishna conscious way, then everything will be taken care.
So Prabhu, if you are a Krishna devotee, like, most of us, we are devotee, even if we pray to Devadas, with our own mindset, like now we are still following regulatory principle, that's still possible, right? It's still okay, right? In the
Yeah,
sense.
that is still
Yes.
okay. That is still okay. There's no harm in it. But as we progress, as we grow, our faith towards Krishna increases more, and whatever we pray to the devatas also is aligned towards that bhakti. Then it is absolutely fine. We go to Shiva temple, we go to Durga temple, we pray. All that we need to pray is how I'm going to get more into devotion service to Krishna. Then they will definitely help it out on that.
It's exactly, Prabhu, because in Singapore, most of the temples there's so many other deities, we can't avoid if we go into a temple.
Correct.
Even if there's a Krishna deity, there's also other deities. So sometimes you got to pay respects,
Yes.
It's a thing.
One
Thank
is
you.
respect. Other one is also we need their support also. See this, because we are in a situation, we are in this material world, we are bound by so many things. Definitely at some point of the time, we will definitely need their support. All we need to do is just to pray to them, so that our conviction gets more. So that should be okay. Okay. Okay, let's go. Okay. Next.
Ravi, should I read the sloka?
Yeah, you can try, Mataji. No problem.
Hare Krishna. Neva tasya kritenartho na kriteneha kaschana nasasya sarvabhuteshu kasched artha vyapasrayah. A self-realized man has no purpose to fulfill in the discharge of his prescribed duties, nor he has any reasons nor to perform such work, nor he has any need to depend on any other living being. Purport: a self-realized man is no longer obliged to perform any prescribed duty save and except activities in Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is not inactivity either, as will be explained in the following verses, as a Krishna conscious man does not take shelter of any person, man or demigod. Whatever he does in Krishna consciousness is sufficient in discharge of his obligations. Hare Krishna.
Okay, so Krishna consciousness is not inactivity either. So it is like self-realized person. The word artha vyapashraya. Ashraya means taking shelter. Vyapashraya means more of ensuring that he is completely dedicated his life to the Krishna. Okay, so self-realized na eva tasya kritena artha. So when somebody is trying to perform some duty and then he's not getting into an obligated this one, but he is in a very realized and self-realized state, then he is absolutely fine. So that is why some of these sannyasis or some of the full-time devotees, they may not be able to perform what others are doing, but still they are considered okay because they are in a realized state, because they are dedicated their life for the Supreme Lord. So they are still considered okay, and they are not dependent on, they are completely dependent on Krishna. So Krishna will ensure that they are getting what they want. Okay, so that is why somewhere we will see that there might be issues where they are not performing the duty, but it is absolutely fine. Okay, but that absolutely fine is a very important point, where how they were or how much ever they have dedicated their life. Okay, so in that way we are. So for mostly 90% of our society is grahastha, like not fully out or not fully in. So we are in between. So we need to follow. We cannot simply say, no, I will just escape. I will not do anything. No, that is not a recommended way. Okay, so that is where the bottom line is.
Can I read the sloka, Prabhu?
Yeah, please do.
Tasmad asakta satatam karyam karma samacharaha asakto hir acharan karma param apnoti purusaha. Papa. Therefore, without being attached to the fruits of activities, why as a matter of duty? For by working without attachment, the Supreme. Should I read the purport?
Yeah. This line, Prabhu. The first para is nice para.
Okay, first paragraph. The purport. The Supreme is the personality of Godhead for the devotees, and liberation for the impersonalists. A person, therefore, acting for Krishna or in Krishna consciousness under proper guidance and without attachment to the result of the work is certainly making progress toward the supreme goal of life.
Okay.
Ajana is so sorry.
Yeah, thanks, Prabhu. Thank you. So what Krishna is now slowly getting, you are doing your activity, you are doing an activity with an attachment, you're doing it for the sake of devatas, you start offering. Now he is slowly getting from that sakama to nishkama. Nishkama means more from as a matter of duty, as a matter of act, karyam karma samacharaha. Satatam. Okay, satatam means always, right? Tasmat asaktah satatam karyam. So you just perform your duty as asaktaha. Ashaktaha. Shakta means more of attachment. Ashaktaha. Just perform your duty without any attachment. Karyam karma samacharaha. Asakto hi acharan karma param apnoti purusha. So you will get that param. So what is the param for the so-called impersonalists and this? The param is for them is mukti. They want liberation. I don't know whether who is the Supreme Lord, who is this. Now all I want is I will perform karma yoga. I will follow the rules and regulations. I will follow Vedic injunctions. But my goal is to come out, mukti. That's all, liberation. Either Sivaloga Prapti or Vaikunta Prapti or Brahmaloga Prapti, whatever Prapti. But what is their param is just to get parap apnoti purusha. So for them, it is more of getting out. But for devotees, what is it? It is not only getting out. It is more of attachment to the Supreme Lord. It is more of love and devotion to the Supreme Lord. It is more of performance of seva or devotional service to the Supreme Lord. That is why there is a big difference between a normal karma karmi versus a karma yogi. Karmi is always towards his sense gratification. Karma yogi is not sense gratification, but he will still be attached to the results of it. So he will follow rules and regulations. Then a karma yogi is somebody who will perform actions, everything, but still not to the extent of where he is completely dedicated is this one. So he is still doing, but without attachment. But for a devotee, what is it? He is not a sakami, he is not a niskami, but he is not a karma yogi, but he is more of a person without attachment, without any kind of an expectation. Still, he will offer it everything to the Supreme Lord. So that is where you see a Prabhupada, from a purport perspective, he is giving the transcendental progression. So what Krishna now is saying is, perform your duty without any attachment. Okay, attachment to the results. So every time, this is where everybody will say, do your duty, don't expect the results. Don't expect the results means whatever be the result, you need to accept it as it is. So it is not that don't expect the results means, in general principle, what you expect it in your own way, right? Whatever be it, I have to win it. So that really doesn't happen every time. So when it doesn't happen every time, when it is a failure, we need to accept it as it. So that is where the acceptance portion is being identified. It is not that, oh, I did this, but I will not worry about it. No. You need to ensure that whatever be the outcome, we are able to accept that outcome. Okay. And performance without too much of attachment. Generally attachment leads to what? Yesterday, last class I told. Attachment leads to
Sorrows.
Attachment leads to bondage. Bondage means bandha. Bandha means everything. Sorrow, happiness, dukha, everything. Janma, mrityu, jara, vyadi, everything will come. Right? Generally, normally also, no, in our family life, this one, you get more attached. The bondage is very more, and then if there is a failure or there is some something happens, then we are more into sorrow, right? And if something is going against, then we become anger. Then our mind is bewildered. Then we are getting into so many of illegal activities. So that is why it is very important. We need to ensure that. Okay. So Vedic rituals or prescribed sacrifices are performed for purification of impurities or performing centuries. So Vedic rituals now slowly is getting into more of purification. Okay. Earlier, what was the Vedic sacrifices? It is for sense gratification. Now beyond that, the sense gratification is the purification process. So for a Sakama Karma Yogi also, it will be the same thing. For a Nishkama Karma also, it's the same thing. For a devotee also, the same rituals. But the same rituals, how and what it is being by whom it is performed it varies. Okay. For example, a Sakama Karma Yogi will perform a yajna for his own sense gratification. He will do Dravya yajna, he will do all the yajna, and then whatever results he come, he will do it. Sakama means he will do it, same thing, same yajna, same mantra, everything. But still, what is his thing is, he will not be much attached. But that is not enough, right? So for him, his goal is only liberation. But for a bhakta, he will also follow the rules and regulations. He will also perform the same yajna. He will also ensure it is not attached. But however, what he will do, he will offer it to the Lord. Okay. So which means he will be completely non-attached. He'll be completely liberated, as well as he will have a loving relationship with the Supreme Lord. Okay. So that is the difference.
Prabhuji, in chapter 2, in what is the
26, 64, 65. So 44 will talk about karmanyeva adhikarasya mafaleshu gadachana. So karmanyeva. So you have to perform your duty. But slowly, what will Krishna will say? It is not just performance of your duty, but you have to do it without attachment. Okay. So he will say dhyayato vishyan pumsaha tasloka sangaste do bujayate sangat sanjayate kama. So sangat, the more and more sangha, more and more attachment will lead to kama, krodha, lobha, mada and mascharya.
Prabhuji, that one I'm asking that.
Voice is breaking, Mataji.
The sloka number in chapter 2, Prabhuji.
64, 65.
2.646. Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
Now Krishna is giving a very nice example. See, I told you about performance of yajna, but you can attain perfection by whom? By like this Janaka Maharaj. Okay, karmanyeva hi samsiddhim asista janakareha loka sangrahamam eva api sampashyan kartum arhasi. King says Janaka attained perfection just by performance of prescribed duty. So what did Janaka do? He just followed his prescribed duties. He attained performance. Therefore, just for the sake of educating people, you should loka sangraham evapi samprasham. Very nice word. Why? Because Arjuna is a great leader. Arjuna is followed by millions. He has a big fan following. He has a big Facebook followers, right? Because of his skill, because of his dedication, because of his compassion, so many things. He's a great hero, right? So that great hero, if he just runs away, if he says, I'm crying, I don't know, I will not, then everybody will just start following. Okay. So in the next few slokas also, Krishna is going to talk about what is meant by leadership quality. So one of the leadership quality is what? Is to set an example by performing that duty. Right? No, I have to do it so that others will follow to it. If I don't do it, others will also will not do it. If I do it wrongly, others will also do it wrongly. So for the sake of others to follow, at least I have to do. That should be one of the important points of from a leadership perspective. So that is why Krishna is making Janakareha Loka Sangramamiyavi Sampashyan Kartum Harhasi. Kartum Harhasi. You deserve Arhata in Sanskrit or in Hindi or in Tamil also Arhatam. Aruhatai. In Tamil also it is called as Aruhatai. Which means you are supposed to perform it. You cannot say, oh, I will not do it. Okay. So that is why very importantly, whenever a person is following Krishna conscious or something, he in one way or the other, we are setting example to the society. Society sees us kind of a person who's following a lot of austerities, a person who is. So which means we have to follow our Vaishnava qualities. We have to follow certain principles so that we are setting example to the society. Okay. So Loka Sangraham Eva. Therefore, like Janaka is what? This from the Ramayana, from the Treta Yuga period, Satya Yuga period, Treta Yuga period, Janaka Maharaja was a great personality, right? He was king of Mithila and he exhibited that particular quality. So that way, Krishna himself is giving this example from a Kshatriya perspective, from a perspective of a king, he has to do his duty. See, experienced persons in Krishna consciousness can act in such a way that others will follow. In the coming sloka will come. So such as the rise cause, there is a necessity for fighting. Although who is situated in Krishna consciousness may not have interest So in one way, like, oh, a Krishna conscious person means he's a very shanti dude. He is a very peace messenger. He will not get into it. No. That is one aspect of this one. But when the need arises, when there is a situation which requires dharma to be established, when there is a need arises, then he has to fight, means he will definitely fight. Okay, so that is why it is very important. Okay. Okay, next. Yeah, sloka. This sloka is by heart sloka. So please read. Somebody can read the sloka.
Yadyad achrati shreshtas tattad eva tam janaha sayat pramanam kurute lokastad anuvartate. Whatever action a great man performs, common men follow, and whatever standards he set by exemplary acts, all the world pursues. People in general always require a leader who can teach the public by practical behavior. A leader cannot teach the public to stop smoking if he himself smokes. Lord Chaitanya said that a teacher should behave properly before he begins teaching. One who teaches in that way is called Acharya, or an ideal teacher. Therefore, a teacher must follow the principles of Shastra, scripture, to teach the common man. The teacher cannot manufacture rules against the principles of revealed scriptures. The revealed scriptures, like Manu Samhita and similar others, are considered the standard books to be followed by human society. Thus, the leader's teachings should be based on the principle of such standard Shastras. One who desires to improve himself must follow the standard rules as they are practiced by the great teachers. The Srimad Bhagavatam also affirms that one should follow in the footsteps of great devotees. And that is the way of progress on the path of spiritual realization. The king or the executive head of a state, the father, and the school teacher are all considered to be natural leaders of the innocent people in general. All such natural leaders have a great responsibility to their dependents. Therefore, they must be conversant with standard books of moral and scriptural codes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So very important, nice sloka. Yadad acharati shreshtas tadad evartaro janaha. So whatever the great men do, shreshtaha, somebody who is doing tadad evato janaha, sayat pramanam gurute lokastad anvartate. So pramanam, you have to set an example. So that is why Prabhupada is also bringing various literatures, this from Bhagavatam, from Manu Samhita, everything. Okay, one is the other one is for us also, for us to learn, for us to grow in our spiritual path, for us to grow in our realization path. Also, we also follow great devotees, right? All the Maharaj, all the great senior devotees, we just follow them. We'll find out what are they doing, what is their sadhana, how are they practicing, how are they doing. So we just try to follow them, and then automatically we try to get our life also more better, right? So same way, this applies. Okay. So nice word. All such natural leaders have great responsibility to dependence. Therefore, they must be conversant with standard books of moral. So what is meant by natural leaders? Can somebody say what is meant by natural leaders? Who Prabhupada is saying natural leaders?
One who has the qualities of a leader,
One who has the narrative. Then that is a leader only. No, he's saying natural leaders.
One
Who
who
has the
follows
responsibility?
Responsibility. So the previous line, no, if you see the king, head of the state, father, school teacher. So these four are called natural leaders. By their position, they are already in a state of leadership. So there's nothing to be identified separately. There's nothing called an election or nothing called voting or nothing called this. By default, if he is the head of the state, he is the leader. By default, he becomes a father. He's married and he begets children. He's a father. By default, a person joins a school as a teacher. He is a leader, which means they are naturally have to ensure that by their characteristics, by their behavior, by their knowledge, they have to set an example. Okay, so first point. Second point, throughout their life, they are leaders. Okay, so that is very important. A father, whatever the father does, the children will follow, right? So that is very important. Everything, whatever we get, waking up to performing, to act, to speaking, whatever be, the children see us and then they learn. Similarly, teacher also, right? We also have a lot of wonderful teachers, and we still remember them because of their behavior, because of their characteristics, because of their knowledge, whatever be it. And also similarly, certain kings, certain head of state, we still remember. All is because of their the position and the state of work or the activity that they do. So that is why Prabhupada very nicely used the word naturally. Somebody forced, somebody through a political way, or somebody is made is not a leader. Is also a leader in one way where they are getting into that responsibility. But naturally it is kind of an automatic one. You have to follow. You cannot do anything like, oh, I have to do this, I have to learn this, nothing. Okay.
Leader by birth, Prabhuji?
Yeah, by birth you can say, but by their position. It's not directly by birth. See, until otherwise I get married and beget children, I'm still not a father. I can be doing, but once I become a father, I have to follow certain way. Similarly, I can be in any profession, but once I become a teacher, I have more responsibility. The society looks at me as a teacher, right? Similarly, for a doctor or whatever be it, whenever we say a doctor means the person has to have some compassion. The person has to follow certain procedures. The person will have a lot of more responsibility, like that only.
Prabhu, can I ask, like head of state, king, they are always respected, like some people say that they're anointed by God. That means by God's blessing, they're there. But if they don't do the right thing, so where do we draw a line there, Prabhu?
Yeah, if they that is unfortunate. See, if they don't do it, what will happen is they are falling into the trap. They are again going back to into the danger, into the dark well. So if they don't do unnecessarily, again the society will also get. So in the history of our Venkata, if the king is not proper, the entire society is devastated. If the king is good, the society has grown up very nicely. So again, it is the group karma that plays there. So if the leader is able to do nicely everything, then the society, praja also, prajapati, right? So the pati, he because of him, the praja also will be getting benefited. But unfortunately, if the prajapati itself is like kind of bad, then society also is getting into bad. That is the problem.
So if the people are say so-called to be, to be punished, it's also the other way around. They will have a king which is not so good, so they all will get the same thing. Is it something like that, bro?
Correct. They will also suffer. They will also undergo all whatever bad thing you do, they will also have to undergo. There is no other go. Even though they are very good, even though this one, but head is wrong means they have to undergo that. In Bhagavatam, we have this wonderful example of King Vena. Vena was even though he was son of the supreme personality of Goddess in that succession, he was completely in a bad this one. So the praja, everybody suffered like anything. Then finally, the Brahmanas decided to eliminate him. But from his body, again, one of the expansions of the supreme personality came. So in such a way that certain times it will happen, certain times with the I mean, that is how the history goes.
Yeah. So Prabhu, like now there's a lot of war in some countries. People are also sympathizing with the people there, but then it's just unfortunate that they have to be there to so-called suffer in a way. So,
correct. Yes, they have to suffer because of the leadership. That's all. Nobody is to be blamed. Okay. So now Krishna is going to talk about himself. So he spoke about what is Sakama, Nishkama, rules and regulations, example of Janaka, everything, and great leadership. So he finished great leadership. Now he's going to talk about himself also, so that people should know that what is all about Krishna. Okay, this is also nice sloka. Yeah, please read.
न मे पार्थास्ति कर्तव्यं त्रिषु लोकेषु किञ्चन नानावाप्तमवाप्तव्यं वर्त एव च कर्मणि. O son of Partha, there is no work prescribed for me within all the three planetary systems, nor am I in want of anything, nor have I need to obtain anything, and yet I am engaged in work.
Okay. So this is also a very, very important way of understanding what is Krishna's position. So every time Krishna, in every chapter, he will try to bring his position to make Arjuna understand, but for us also to understand. But still, we will never be only at the end of 10th chapter, 9th chapter, 12th chapter, 15th chapter. Then that realization will be complete, Purna, because then we realize, oh, the so-called supreme personality is the same person as Krishna. So in a way where he gradually brings in every chapter, he's trying to give that particular bottom line, underlying point. Hey, you are talking with the Supreme Lord. You are talking with me. I am the Supreme. I am the Paramapurusha Bhagavan. Everything. Okay. So so that is what Krishna's point is. But still, because of the what do you say, the ignorance or the level of ignorance, we are not able to accept what Krishna says. Right. The third chapter, this is a very straightforward sloka. Name partha asti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana nanavaptam avaptavyam vartayeva cha karmani. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to do anything in the three lokas. Okay. There's no prescribed work for me. And I don't want to really understand. I'm not obligated to anybody also. Okay. Okay. Kinchana nanavaptam. But still, vartayeva cha karmani. So, but still I'm performing everything because everybody are looking at me, because everybody are following me, because many of them still. So in a way where Krishna is making a point, Arjuna, see, it is not, I'm just giving an example of Janaka Maharaj or Janaka a way of working. I'm still giving you an example. For my own example, I'm telling you, I am also not obligated to anybody. I also have nothing to do, but still I'm doing because everybody will follow. Right? This is again a very straightforward example, straightforward demonstration of a leader. So Krishna is why Krishna is considered a great leader, because these are some of the points he is trying to bring it out. So in a way, he is also, so if you read through Bhagavatam 10th canto or Krishna book, you will see wonderful qualities of Krishna. He will perform, for example, if he goes to meet Hastinapura. So he is, for example, Yudhishthira is elder to him. So he will pay respects to Yudhishthira. So Arjuna will be in his lesser age. So he will do Alinganam with Bhima, because they are kind of more or less same age. So like that, he will try to follow that the injunctions. He will try to follow everything as per whatever be it. Okay, even though he is the Paramapurusha Bhagavan, is Supreme Personality. This applies to Dwaraka also. When he goes to Dwaraka, he has 16,108 wives. In some palaces, he will be sleeping. In some palaces, he will be doing some activity. In some palaces, he will be performing yajna. In some palace, he will be giving dhanam to the brahmanas. In one palace, he will be cleaning, or he will be doing some bathing for his own children. So he'll do all grahastha ashrama activities. He will do a lot of activities. He'll be cleaning so many things. But still, why does he do vartayeva cha karmani avaptavyam? So because everybody are looking at me, I am also performing these things. But still, I am not have to do it. Okay. But this, when we say, but we will not be understand. Why does he say what is it? But the more and more we get into fourth chapter, in other chapters, then we really understand. Yes, he is the Paramapurusha Bhavan. He doesn't have to really do anything, but still he is doing because of that particular role and the position. Okay, since he is in full opulence of the Krishna consciousness, sorry, personality of Godhead in full truth, there is no duty for him. So, but still he is doing things because he wants to ensure that others also are following him. Okay, he is above all revealed scriptures and regulations. Okay? So that is why Swadharma, or whenever we say Dharmarthu Sakshat Bhagavat Pranitam. So Dharma is one thing, rules and regulations followed everything. But when it is getting aligned with Krishna, that is what is true Dharma. So sometimes certain things will be totally contradictory, totally this one, immoral from a normal law book of nature. But if it is aligned with Krishna, then it is absolutely from that. That's why Dharmam tu Sakshat Bhagavat Pranitam. So whatever Bhagavat Pranitam, whatever he desires is Dharma. Okay. So that is why throughout Mahabharata you will see so many contradictions. But still, why Pandavas are protected, why Pandavas are victorious is because it is Bhagavat Pranita. Okay. And even in the story of Karna, you will see so many contradictions. Why this happened, why that happened, everything. But still, it is because of Bhagavat Pranita.
Prabhu, one clarification, like
Yes.
if you are talking about Krishna position, we are also talking about like sadhus and all that. Sometimes they have no obligation, but they still perform duties, right?
Right.
But sometimes people may ask why certain persons that doesn't do. It's actually not the question then, because they really don't have to if they reach certain standard, but they are just doing like what is prescribed in the mentioned in the earlier verse, for us to follow. Is that
Right.
correct, Prabhu?
Right. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. So sometimes they will do it just because for others to follow. Sometimes they don't need to do it, and if some are ignorant, they may think it the wrong way. But that is up to that particular person. So they are not bothered about it. Okay, this is also in the, this sloka is also a continuation of that sloka. Okay. Yeah. Yad hi aham navarteyam jadu karmani atandriyah mama vartaman vartante manushapata savasa. Mama vartaman anuvartante. So my path, somebody is following my path. Atendriya. So Manushya Pathasarasa. So for if I ever fail to engage in carefully in performing prescribed duties, oh Patha, suddenly all men will follow my path. So Krishna himself is declaring it is not that I'm telling you, I am also doing that. Okay, I am also following it just because if I don't follow, everybody will just start not following and then it will get into a so Prabhupada, that is what is making it. So in order to keep balance of the social tranquility for progress of spiritual life, there are traditional families used meant for civilized person. Although such rules and regulations are conditioned souls, not Krishna, because he has to descend to establish this one, he followed principle. So in 4th chapter, Krishna will talk about what is his avatar anoka, what is the purpose of his descendants. Okay, karmanyeva, sorry, Paritranaya sadhuna minashayatu dushkartam. So the 2 slokas he will talk about why and what is the main purpose of his he's taking multiple avatars, right? So in that one of the main thing is dharma samstapanarthaya, which means establishment of dharma is a very important activity and that can be majorly done when if it is going completely in a very chaotic way. Krishna will come every yuga, right? Dharma samstapanarthaya sambhavami me myself. I'll come every yuga I'll come. Right? So that is where it's. So I told you, right, from Srimad Bhagavatam, it is understood that Lord Krishna was performing all the religious duties at home and out of home as required as a household. And in some, Narada Rishi will be surprised. He just wanted to see how Krishna manages his household activities. See, Krishna himself wakes up early in the morning doing Brahma Murtata. At the time he will perform tapasya, he will perform yajna, he will perform japa on his own name. He will do Surya Namaskar, he will do Mangala Arati, he will take bath, then he will do Gayatri, then he will call for the Brahmanas, he will give some donations, he will see his own face first thing in his mirror, then he will go and see cow first, then he will take blessings from the cow, then he will do all the normal ruchi, as a household activity, then he will go to his sabha, his court, then he will call for all the people. So in a way, if you see, all these things is not at all necessary for Krishna, but still he does it because others will follow his path. Okay. Mama Vartaman Vartante Partha Sarvasa. Manushya Partha Sarvasa. So again, the three continuous slokas. Okay. Varna Shankaraha, we have already seen that. Okay. This sloka is what? Udishe durime loka na kuryam karma chetaham sankarasya nakartashyam panyaham ima prajaha. Okay. So if I did not perform prescribed duties, all these world be put into ruination. If I would be the cause of creating unwanted population, I would be therefore. So in one sense, what Arjuna was saying in the first chapter, when I kill these people, then Varashankara will come. When I kill these people, the family tradition will go. When I kill these people, nobody will be able to follow everybody. Then when I kill the people, the society will be at chaos. And when I kill the people, all the Pintadan, everything goes. So that was Arjuna's point. But Krishna is making it here. Hey, if you don't perform karma only, all these things. In fact, if I don't do it, it will be much more worst. Okay. Varna Shankara is unwanted population which disturbs the peace of the humans in general society. Right. So in order to check the disturbance, everybody has to follow the rules and regulations, including myself. Okay. Utsidhyeyu ime lokaha nakuryam karma cha chetaham sankrasya na cha kartashyam upanyaham ima prajaha. So it will get distracted. Okay. So Prabhupada is making the Lord is the father of all the living entities, and if the living entities are misguided, indirectly the responsibility goes to the Lord. So Prabhupada is making it very nice. So in a way, Prabhupada has got that particular position to convey this message directly, right? So we may not be able to convey this, but Prabhupada has got that conviction. So he will say, Krishna will do it because Krishna has got a responsibility. What is one of the major responsibility of Krishna? Anybody? What is an important responsibility? We say Krishna doesn't have a responsibility, but at the same time we say Krishna has a responsibility. What is that responsibility?
To bring us all back to him.
To bring us all back to the Supreme, to himself. That is one of his major thing, because we are all his children. Other responsibilities are there to establish dharma, to ensure whatever we ask, he has to give. He is a wish fulfilling tree. He is Kalpa Vriksha. He has to give mercy. He has to take care of us. He has to take care of all the living entities. He has to do creation. He has to do destruction. Whenever he wants, whenever there is a situation which requires a lot of creation, he will do Prajapati work. Whenever there is a destruction, he will do the Shiva. He will do the Maheshwara work. So all those things are all kind of parcel other so-called activities. Okay, but still at some point of time, he doesn't really do. He just can be happily be in Goloka. He can be with his Gopa friends and gopis, and then he will be. But still, he has to take up all these things just because because we are all part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, and we are supposed to be with him. We are doing so. That is why this entire material manifestation, this mandala, this universes, everything is all because of one thing, that we need to be with him.
So Prabhuji, Krishna, whatever avatar he is taking, he's to convey, means to do his responsibility only. He takes avatar, right, Prabhuji?
No, there are multiple reasons. So in 4th chapter we will come when there is a specific section. We'll talk about the different types of avatar. There are multiple reasons. One is to perform his duty, to establish dharma, to protect the sadhus, to protect his devotees, and to annihilate or to kill the demons, rakshasas. So there are multiple purposes solved in one particular thing. Otherwise, also there is other reasons also. He will just create a particular avatar. He just wants to have a leela. He will create it. He will enjoy. He will come. So that is also one more reason. So he will try to put 3-4 reasons together to make that particular avatar more sweet, more taste also. Otherwise, also small one avatar quickly come, do it, and then he will go. So it all depends upon his own will. Okay. For example, he comes as what do you say? Dhanvantri avatar. So he comes out of the Milky Ocean. All that he does is he just takes the nectar, he just gives it, and he goes up. That's all. So he doesn't have to do anything, nothing. So certain avatars, the purpose is different. Certain avatars, multiple purpose will be there. Accordingly, it is at his own will. We don't have anything to say. For example, Parshuram avatar. Parshuram avatar is all about killing Kshatriyas. There is nothing called this, that, and all. All that he will continue to do is every generation, he will just go search for the bad Kshatriyas who are not following religious principles. He will just killing. That avatar is still, and still he will perform a lot of activities. He will train a lot of Kshatriyas. As an Acharya, he will take up a lot of disciples also. So in that way also, he is trying to fulfill the a certain responsibility. So every avatar has got, if you analyze very nicely, then we can get more and more nectar out of it.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, can somebody read the sloka? Right?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Shakta karmani avedvamso yata kurvanti bharata kuryad vidvan tatha sakta chikir shurloka sangraham. Sir, Prabhuji, should I read translation?
Yeah, please, Mataji.
As the ignorant person, their duties with attachment to results, the learned may similarly act, but without attachment for the sake of the leading people on the right path.
Okay, so as the ignorant, Saktaha karmani vidvamso, vidvan, okay. So avidvamso means who is not an expert, who is ignorant, okay. So the yata kurvanti bharadha kuryat vidvams tata shakta. So two words are used, avidvamso and vidvamso. So in Tamil, say normal Sanskrit, Hindi also, somebody will say he's a vidwan, he's a great musician, or he's a great expert, right? Kuryat vidvams tata shakta. So learned men will do it just because loka sangraham, for the people for attachment. So that is why, for example, now everybody will. I'm just giving a raw example. Nowadays, everybody will say, "Oh, this Modi ji is doing all kind of this one. But still, actually speaking, he's doing for others to follow. He is doing this yoga. For others to follow, he's doing yajna. For others to follow, he'll do a lot of puja, sacrifices, everything. But as a prime minister, he doesn't have to really do anything, right? He can be just simply be sitting. But since because everybody are following him, since because everybody are seeing him on a regular basis, he also performs yoga regularly for his own welfare. For others are seeing, he also does regular puja. In fact, every year he takes up that 40 or 20 days or 15 days or 1 week fasting, right? So he takes complete fasting. He follows certain austerities. Okay? Just because it is Chikrishur Loka Sangraha. Right? So for leading the people to the right path, sometimes the great people, learned men also will follow that, but they will follow without attachment. Okay. Yata kurvanti bharata kuryat vidvams tata asakta. So they will follow it, but without attachment. They are not, see, for that particular person, he doesn't have to really worry or whatever, no attachment, right? He's nothing to be like, in fact, similarly, Krishna also, right? So he doesn't have to do anything, but still he will do it because Chirikshir Lokasant. So in a way where Prabhupada is also making it nicely. All our great sannyasis, all our Krishna conscious Guru, Acharyas, Maharajas also, in a way where they are setting an example. They also will ensure Mangalarti. Nobody, in fact, my Guru Maharaj, he will never miss Mangalarti in his entire life. Right? So 4:45 means 4:45. 4:15 means whichever place, whichever location, he will ensure he is there for Mangalarti. Which means it is for Loka Sangram. It is not they have to do their old age, this one. So many things are there, so many bad health, so many things, but still all the sannyasis, rishis, still they follow that because it is for the Loka Sangram. Okay. So two parts. One is Shaktaha Karmani Abhidvamso. Shaktaha means being very much attached in prescribed duties, Abhidvamso. Some will follow rules and regulations very rigidly. Oh, this. Right? So for them, if you don't follow suddenly, they'll be like, no, he's wrong. Right? So somebody who just follows by rule book, they will do their duty, but what with more of attachment to result. Oh, I want to do 1, 2, 3, 4. This means this. That's all. So they will not be able to take a for them. The other group is Kuryat, Vidvams, Tata, Asaktaha. Those who are attached but still they expert, they will do it because they have to follow the right path. Okay. So this is from a Krishna's way. Prabhupada's way is all about Krishna conscious. He will just simply say, if a Krishna conscious person is all about performing activity, he has to do it with without any attachment, then he will be able to set an example to others. Right? Therefore, Krishna conscious person is required to show the people how to act, how to engage in the results of action for the purpose of Krishna consciousness. Okay. That's good.
Shall I read, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji.
न बुद्धिभेदं जनयेद अज्ञानास्कर्मसङ्गिनां जोषयेत् सर्वकर्माणि विद्यान्युक्ता समाचरन्. Meaning, so as not to disturb the mind of ignorant men attached to the fruitive results of prescribed duties, a learned person should not induce them to stop work. Rather, by working in the spirit of devotion, he should engage them in all sort of activities for the gradual development of Krishna consciousness. Shall I purport also?
No, it's
Okay.
fine. The purport is
Okay.
so not to disturb the minds of ignorant men. So because the ignorant are very much attached. Like for example, you go to any society who are very much attached to their work, right? For example, typically what we say, this factory people or labor class people, their mindset is just to produce something. Okay, they'll be given a target. Okay, 100 bread packets or 100 utensils or under this. They'll be just morning 8 o'clock in the factory till 5 o'clock in the factory. They'll be just continuously producing or do whatever. It is just a routine mundane activity. So, but what is the result is they're very much attached to it and they get the salary, and with that salary or the other benefits, they are just completely in that particular Vimuda, like in the modes of disruption of intelligence, buddhi bedam. So they don't have to really think about so many things. So they are at the same. But karma sangina. But for this, for the spirit of devotion, for the work of this one, what they will do, yeah. So you do your duty. So that is what is Prabhupada is also mentioning. Okay, you continue your duty, but still when you start changing towards Krishna consciousness, then it will get into this one. So that is why Joshiyat Sarvakaramani Vidwan Yukta Samacham. So an expert leading person will say, oh, you don't have to do, you will not say don't work, don't act. No. The Vidwan will say, please continue to work only. Okay. But at the same time, slowly that particular person will gradually get into elevation. Okay. So that is where we also say Prabhupada is making it very nicely. Somebody will say, oh, is Krishna conscious inertia? Like, no, nothing. It is just only, what do you say? Just living in the society, just doing some kind of activity. No. Krishna conscious is nothing but following the rules and regulations, acting whatever way. So Prabhupada didn't allow anybody like whomsoever is coming say, I will do, should I just quit? No. He will say, continue your work, continue the duty. So in those days, all the brahmacharyas, grahastha, whomsoever, they continued to work. Only few of them where Prabhupada identified and made sure that the activities continue, he picked them to become full-time. But others, he made them like, no, I know some of them like they were car drivers or cab drivers. So some of them were like kind of working in factories, some of them were, so he ensured that they still continue their work. But after that, whatever they're able to do, then it is getting accepted. So after some point of time, it is getting this one. But same thing, what is Krishna is mentioning. Na buddhi bhedam janiyat ajnanam karma sanginam joshiyat sarvakarmani vidwan yuktaha samacharan. So he will ensure as an expert, as a vidwan, like Prabhupada is a great vidwan, right? So he ensured that the people can slowly get transformed or kind of move from their normal activity to a Krishna conscious activity. That's what Prabhupada is saying. A slightly developed Krishna conscious person might directly engage the service Lord without waiting for others. But if he is in an ignorant state, we cannot force him to do. So what will happen? Otherwise, he'll become a burden to the society. He will not do anything. Will just simply roam around. So he has to do duty. He has to do it in a regular way. So that is why, at least for that particular sake of performance or activity, let him do. Okay, that is why it is mentioned. So this sloka is also in one way where it is more from a preaching perspective also. When we meet new people, when we are trying to do this, we will have to convey them whatever they are doing, please continue to do. Not that you just leave out everything, come, no. So let them gradually, progressively, they should get the knowledge and they will be able to do it. Otherwise, it will become a disruption and we will be completely misunderstood and then misrepresented, and then we'll get into a lot of problems. Okay, let's go. Okay, so far there is one section where it is all about karma portion. Now this sloka onwards, Prabhupada Krishna is making it very clear what is that particular person's activity or this one, what is his state of mind. This is again an important sloka there are two slokas in this particular chapter. This is either the Achariti Shreshta, that one, and this one. This sloka is also by heart sloka. Okay, go ahead.
प्रकृते क्रियमाणानि गुणे कर्माणि सर्वशः अहंकारा विमूढात्मा कर्ताहमिति मन्यते. The spirit soul, bewildered by the influence of false ego, thinks himself the doer of activities that are in actuality carried out by the three modes of material nature. Two persons, one in Krishna consciousness and the other in material consciousness, working on the same level, may appear to be working on the same platform, but there is a wide gulf of difference in their respective positions. The person in material consciousness is convinced by false ego that he is the doer of everything. He does not know that the mechanism of the body is produced by material nature, which works under the supervision of the Supreme Lord. The materialistic person has no knowledge that ultimately he is under the control of Krishna. The person in false ego takes all credit for doing anything independently, and that is the symptom of his nascence. He does not know that his gross and subtle body is the creation of material nature under the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And as such, his bodily and mental activities should be engaged in the service of Krishna in Krishna consciousness. The ignorant man forgets that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is known as Rishikesha, or the master of the senses of the material body. For due to his long misuse of the senses and sense gratification, he is factually bewildered by the false ego, which makes him forget his eternal relationship with Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So very nice sloka, very important sloka also. Clearly mentioning what is the. This is again our 90% or more than 70% we'll think that Prikarte Kriyamanani Ahankara Vimudata Matma, what is it? Kartam hi karta aham iti manyate. Right? So whatever we try to do, all say it is all because of me. It is because of my own nature, because of my power, my strength, my knowledge, my intelligence. But what is Krishna is saying? Prakriti kriyamanani gunakarmani sarvasaha. But this Vimudatma is ahankara. With full of ahankara, it is thinking, kartaham iti manyate. No, Baba, you are not doing anything. You are being influenced by the modes. That is why it is all happening. You might think it is all because of your own, because of more passion, because of more ignorance, or because of more of goodness, the act is getting performed. Okay, but if you still think that you are this one, then you are called as what? Vimudatma. You are a fool. Okay, Atma, Vimudatma. Okay. So completely in the mode of ignorance or completely in the mode of foolishness. So nice sloka. Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasaha. So that is why for the one full chapter is dedicated for 2 chapters actually. 2 chapters, 14th and 17th is only for guna. Traigunya Vishayaveda Nistraiganyo Bhavarjuna. So all this thing is brought through the 3 gunas from Kala. So time is the important factor that produces these 3 gunas. And what you have to do? Nistraigunyo Bhavarjuna. You have to come out of this particular guna. Then only you will be able to this one. So Prabhupada is making it very easy. 2 persons, one in Krishna conscious, one in male conscious. Same level, okay, appearing with the same platform, but there's a big difference between their respectable position. So we also work, they also work. We also cook, we also cook. So in a way, both are same, but there's a big difference is on the ahankara portion. Okay. The more and more we think I am doing it is because of me. That is why we will always say it is Krishna willing, it is Krishna's act. So at least by the word of mouth we say, so that at some point of the time we really realize that, right? So we may just simply saying, but at least we try to practice that. Okay. So at some point of the time we'll be able to fully realize Krishna and then make sure that everything is Krishna. Okay. So because the ignorant man is completely forgetful of Rishikesha, he is the control of. How can that particular person become fully controlled by Rishikesha? If all his senses are directed towards Krishna's way. My eating, my way of working, my action, everything is directed to Krishna, then my senses are also completely under the control of Krishna. Okay. So Prabhupada is also making that point, but Krishna is making it little gently. Okay, he said Vimudatma. So this is opposite of, yeah, go ahead.
Tattvavitu mahabhavo guna karma vibhagaho guna gunesha vartanta iti matva na sajjate. One who is in knowledge of the absolute truth, almighty armed, does not engage himself in the senses and sense gratification, knowing well the differences between work in devotion and work in fruitive results.
Very nice. So this is again opposite of the 27th sloka. 27th sloka, you will think I am doing it, everything is mine, I am the owner. Okay, but it is because of the modes. Here, one who is in tattva with, okay, Tadvid the Pradipatayana Pariprashnena in the 4th chapter, 34th sloka, you talk with tattva with. Okay, Vidwan, with means tattva. Tattva means philosophy or knowledge or understanding. So one who knows completely that understanding, completely gets that tattva itu mahabaho. What is it? Guna karma vibhagayoho. So even though he will perform activities, but that activities will not be affected by the guna and the by the attachment. Okay, but he'll still perform. But there is a vibhaga, there is a difference. What? Guna guneshu vartante. So he will not engage in a sense activity. He will not get into sense speculation. So he will perform work. But what is that one? Iti matva sajjate. But it will be more of a completely detached state and more not work for a fruitive results. So in a way, what Krishna is emphasizing, you have to perform your duty above the modes, perform your duty without attachment, perform your duty above your regulated senses, then it will become completely in the liberated state or completely above the transcendence or above the material needs. So for that, what is important? You have to become what? What Krishna wants Arjuna to become? Tattvavid, exactly. So you have to become a knowledgeable person, which means you are doing a duty is one way, okay, but you have to gain knowledge. So that is the foundation for fourth chapter. So in a way where Krishna is gradually making progressively way, like, oh, you are doing duty, do this, but you also have to become knowledgeable. Without knowledge, you will not be able to do it perfectly. Without knowledge, your action will not be complete. Without knowledge, you will never realize what purpose of it. Without knowledge, you will not know to whom it has to be done. So which requires knowledge, which requires understanding of that particular thing, which requires to come out of these material modes, you need to know what are the modes. Okay, so that is why from a Krishna conscious way or from an understanding way of devotional service, we always say devotional service is karma yoga with jnana yoga, encompasses that into the bhakti yoga portion. So in a way, everything is within that. So that is why a devotee is far more intelligent. It is not about acquiring materialistic knowledge. It is more about understanding what is the purpose of that particular activity. So that is why jnana is also embedded within the bhakti yoga portion. That will come at the later part. But here, making it very clear that any jivatma is performing karma yoga is not sufficient. He has to get into understanding or get the knowledge. Without the knowledge of what is karma, what is guna, and then how to perform, then it will become totally different step. Okay. Prabhupada is making, according to Srimad Bhagavatam, one who knows the absolute truth in three different features, the Brahman, Paramatma, something called Tattvavit. Okay, this is again exam point of view. What is meant by Tattvavit? So knowing the absolute knowledge, absolute truth can be realized in three phases. One is the Brahman phase, then the Paramatma, and then the personality. Brahman is all the material manifestation. That is all pervasive, that is everywhere. Okay. And then specifically within the Jivatma, within every Jivatma, the Paramatma feature is there. Then the actual Supreme Personality of the Godhead. Okay.
Prabhu, can I read the sloka?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Prakrityarguna sammudha sajante gunakarmashu tan akrishna vido mandan Krishna vinna vichalayet. Bewildered by the modes of material nature, the ignorant fully engage themselves in material activities and become attached. But the wise should not unsettle them, although these duties are inferior due to the performer's lack of knowledge.
Okay. Persons who are non-knowledgeable, falsely identified gross material consciousness, function, are full of mental designations. They will have their own positions, right? So, because of the modes, material nature, of the influence of material nature, they fully engaged in. They'll be completely engrossed in their position, their activity, even though it might outwardly look like kind of a social welfare activity, even though it might look like so much of community-based activities, but still it is all in the ignorance. But the wise should not unsettle them. So akritsna vidaha. So although these duties are inferior due to their performance lack of knowledge. So even though those duties are inferior, we should not disturb. Let it go, let it continue. So that at least slowly they will be able to progressively improve, progressively grow. So that is why whomsoever is doing any kind of neta work, right, in a correct way, let them continue. At least, in some way or other, they are getting benefited, and slowly they will be able to progress. Okay, so that is more important. But Prabhupada is making social work, nationalism, altruism. This line is very important. Like in the name of social work, in the name of national neta kam, ye kam. So Samaj ka kam, they'll say this work, that work, and all. It's all in one way, may not be directly related to spiritual realization. So, but still it is okay. At least in some way they are not there. But because of the lack of knowledge, whatever they are trying to do is only at that particular circle only. They will not be able to come out to it. Okay, such bewildered persons may be engaged in such primary moral principles of life. Okay, and similarly materially benevolent work. So they will do a lot of charity, they will do a lot of social work, everything. However, is that really getting into Krishna conscious? No. Like Prabhupada always, somebody will question, why are you building so much of temples? Instead of that, why can't you do a lot of charity work? You can create more of hospitals, you can create more schools, you can create this education society, that education society, you can create more of ashrams, you can do all this. But Prabhupada will say, what is really people suffering is more on lack of knowledge of Supreme Lord. Okay, so that is what Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur also mentioned. See, anybody and everybody can create hospitals. If you have money, you just create. But anybody and everybody cannot create a temple, right? So a temple is not just for worshipping. The temple is a place where you get the knowledge, you get the understanding, you get the bhakti portion of it, which is very rare. Right? So that is where Prabhupada is also making it very nicely. Why are we building temples? Because we are all in the state of disease called as avidya. Not the avidya of material knowledge, but avidya of the spiritual knowledge. So that is where temple gives that opportunity to read Bhagavad Gita. Temple opportunity gives to read Bhagavatam about the Lord, about our relationship and get. Okay. So in a way, our temples also do social work. We do Annadan, we do book distribution, we do so many social welfare activities. But highest welfare of activity is what? Giving Krishna consciousness to others. Prasadam distribution, so many things during Corona time. I know in India, we did so many welfare activities, right? So that such a way we need to understand. So Prabhupada is also making men who are ignorant cannot accept, appreciate activities of Krishna. Therefore, that Krishna advises not to disturb them, is simply waste valuable time. Okay, that is the main portion. So if you're not able to understand, if they're not able to do things, just ignorant, okay? Just come out of it so that at least we can spend our time more beneficial in the other.
Prabhuji, this shloka, is linked with 3.26 also in some way, like where like Krishna is saying the same thing, that not to settle, the people who are ignorant.
Correct.
Rather, we can work in the spirit of devotion, so we can sort of engage them in the activities slowly.
So that is where he is telling us not to disturb others. Here he is telling somebody who is working for the that is in general for everybody, for all kind of. Here he is specifically mentioning who is working for the welfare of the society, who's thinking that I am only responsible, who's thinking that I am the neta, I am doing for such and certain. So that is also actually in one way ignorant only. So that is why Prabhupada is Krishna is making that point also to ensure that they are also not disturbed. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
So the difference between that sloka and sloka is for everybody, in general, each and everybody. This sloka is for persons who take some kind of social responsibility, some kind of a charitable way of doing, some position, some designations. So that people also, Krishna is making it very nicely, then ensure that they are not disturbed. Okay, that is what it is.
One clarification: if social activities are done and we don't disturb them, they will continue doing it. So, and we are not encouraging it. So, what's the perspective? I know even in our movement, there are some people who will go and do a lot of social work besides the spiritual thing. So, what's the position?
What Prabhupada is saying is, see, at some point of the time, the society needs social work. We cannot simply say, because we are all social animals, we need a society together. We need to have some kind of a network, some kind of a bonding. Social networking, social welfare activities should continue. But at the same time, not to be fully engrossed in social activities that will become too much attached also. So we don't get into that kind of level. We also do, but to a limited extent wherever it is required, that's all. So even our devotees also perform certain social activities, but to maximum possible, they will try to align that with Krishna. They will try to align with Krishna conscious activities. One point. Second point, how are we really encouraging others to do? We are not going and say do. We are not stopping others to do. If you want to do, you do it. Okay. But if you want to understand which is better, then we will give you more knowledge or more understanding. That's
all. Particularly like we got hospitals under our movement also and all that. So that was something that some time ago I heard a little bit about that. So I just want to clarify. Thank you.
Yes, Prabhu. So we are not against it. So if there is a need, there's a requirement to build hospitals. Yes, our movement will support that on the situation and then on the time, place, and circumstance. Because if it requires a place where there is a dire need of an hospital, so that it will help the devotees or it will help the society, then we will try to create that particular hospital or that particular social welfare activity. However, it is not mandated that, oh yes, we will continue to do create multiple hospitals in everywhere and every location. No. For example, we created one hospital in Mayapur because we didn't have any good hospital in Mayapur at all. Because at least you will serve the society, serve the devotees and everything. Similarly, Bhaktivedanta Hospital also in Mumbai, that particular level, that particular position, there was no real hospital that place, and then we wanted to serve primarily our own devotees and everybody. That was the main motto. And then also to give a give a placeholder in the society that yes, we also do this kind of welfare. That's all. It is not that we are trying to create business out of it. We are trying to create a chain of hospitals. No.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
मयि सर्वाणि कर्माणि सन्न्यास्याध्यात्मचेतस निराशे निर्मनो भूत्वा युधस्व विगतज्वारः.
Therefore, O Arjuna, surrendering all your unto me, full knowledge, without profit for result, without ownership, free from lethargy. Very, very, very nice loka. Okay. Mayi sarvani karmani. You have to do work for whom? Mayi, for me. First line. Second line, sannyasa atma chetasa. You perform without attachment. You do everything for giving up completely. You just giving it up in the consciousness, in the chetasa of giving it up completely. Whatever be it, it is Krishna. This one. Third is nirashari. Don't have any attachment. Don't think I'm only doing it. Don't think you are the owner, you are the karta, you are the result. No. Nirmamo. Same thing. Don't think you are this one. Bhuvataha. Yuddhasva vigata jvaraha. But you have to perform without any kind of lethargy. You have to do it. It is not that, okay, anyway, it is for only the Krishna, no, it's okay, whatever be, let me try it. So, no. Anyway, I'm not attached to it. Anyway, result Krishna will take care. So let me know. No. The lethargicity also, no complacency. Okay. First point. Second point, from the you have to fight, you have to perform a duty. You don't think it is nirmama, you don't think it is nirashir. But you have to do with what? Sannyasa adhyatma. You have to perform without giving it up completely, without attachment. And for whom you are doing? Mayi sarvani karmani. You are supposed to do it for me. Okay. In either you go from top to bottom or bottom to top. The understanding and meaning is very clear. You do your activity for Mayi, for me. You do your activity without completely giving it up. You don't, without attachment to self. Okay. And vigata jvaraha. You have to be doing without being complacent. You have to do it with full dedication, with full confidence, with full knowledge, with full prayatna, with whatever endeavor you want to put, you have to put it. It's not that, okay, I will just, for the sake of doing it, I'm let me do it. No. You have to do it with full endeavor. Okay. So Prabhupada is making nicely. This verse clearly indicates the purpose of Bhagavad Gita. Very important. What is the purpose of Bhagavad Gita? The Lord instructs that one has to become fully Krishna conscious to perform his duty, even it is military state. Okay. So what is our way of doing? It is for Mayi Sarvani. It is for Krishna. First point. Second point, Sannyasa Adatma. Without fully giving it up to Krishna. Third, with full consciousness. Fourth, Nirasharaha. Without any profit. I am not worried about profit or loss. I am not worried about it is for me. Krishna will take care of me. Fifth, Nirmama. I am not doing anything. I am just a instrument. Okay. I am just performing it. So I'm not going to have that pride. I'm not having that sense of ownership. No. Okay. And also vigata jvaraha. I will not just like that do it. I will do it with all my full capacity. Okay. So Prabhupada will talk about nirasharaha, nirmamo, nirahankara. The next sloka will talk about ahankara. So lot of nir will come. So these are all nice Sanskrit words. Just start remembering about it. Okay. In one day or the other, we'll have some test. One quiz on whatever Sanskrit words. Just what is maybe nirashara, what is maybe nirmamo, what is maybe nira ahankar. So like that we can remember. So everyone, according to his quality and position, has a particular type of work to discharge, and all such duties may be discharged Krishna consciousness. This will lead one to path of, what is the end result? Path of liberation. Okay. Maybe we'll take a small break. We'll continue till 4 o'clock. Okay. We'll take a small break, 34. We'll come back by 3:40. Okay, small break. I'm doing from sloka 31. Okay. ये मे मतमिदं नित्यम् अनुतिष्ठन्ति मानवः श्रद्धावन्तो अनुसूयन्तो मुच्यन्ते विकर्मभिः. Those persons who execute their duties according to my injunctions and will follow this teaching faithfully without envy become free from bondage of putrefaction. So what is the result? Ye me matam idam nityam. So the previous sloka is what? The previous sloka is all about Mayi sarvani karmani sannyasa atmacheta nirachir nirmamo bhutva yuddhashu. So perform your duty without any attachment, without ahankar, without this one. Do it for me. That is what he said. So if you do it for me, what? Ye me matam idam nityam. If you follow my injunctions, we follow just my this one. Anutishtanti manava, anutishtanti regularly. It is not just, oh, I will follow Krishna consciousness only in the Saturday, Sunday. I will follow certain things only during the festival time. I follow these things whenever I am required. No, no, no. Anutishtanti manava. Nityam. Yeme matam idam nityam. This sloka, every word is very important. Anutishtanti manava. With what? Shraddhavanto anushuyanto. So what is bhakti? What is devotional service? Is with Shraddha. And the second one is Anushuyanto, without envy. Until otherwise we have envy nature against the Supreme Lord Krishna, we will never be able to surrender. We will never be able to get bhakti. We will never get mercy. We will never get prasadam. We will never get anything. So we should never have envy, first point. Second point, we should have Shraddha. Third point, what? Anutishtanti manava. We have to perform our duty Anutishtan daily. Then what will happen? Muchante karma. You will definitely be the. So this is the, what do you say? The falashruti or karma. Whatever you do it for me. Whatever you do, follow me. Whatever you do, nirasha. Whatever you do, nirmamo. Whatever you do, nirahankar. And whatever you do it with Shraddha. Whatever you do it anushuyanto. What you will get? You will get muchante karma. You will be definitely liberated from the punitive activities. Clear? So in a way, Krishna, how nicely he's bringing out the progressive way of Karma Yoga. So first he was saying, follow this, do your duty, follow this, perform yajna, follow this, do it for the devatas. And if you don't do it, it will become papam. If you don't do it, it will become sin. Do it for the sake of doing it. Don't, you cannot escape. So all those things he told. Then he told, you follow others. Even Janaka Raja did the way. You follow me also. I am also doing it, even though I am not bonding. So every way he is making it one point. What is it? You have to do your duty. Right? So he is not moving away that particular line at all. So in the conclusion part, what he's saying, hey, you do it for me at least. You follow my injection. You follow root and regulations. If you follow it, do it without attachment. Do it this. So what is the final result? Muchante bi karma bihi. How? You cannot come just like that. You should do it. Yeme matam idam. You should follow me. What? Nityam anushuya. Anutishtanti. So regularly and nityam. Okay. Shraddhavantaha. With Shraddhavantaha. With faith and devotion. If you do it without ahankar, anushuyantaha, you will be getting it. Prabhupada is making it nicely. In the beginning of Krishna consciousness, one may not fully and discharge injunctions of the Lord, but because one is not resentful to the principle and works sincerely without consideration, he will surely be promoted to this. So even though it is okay, even though your Shraddha level is Komal Shraddha, it is only like growing, that is okay. But at least you do it with little bit faith, with little bit of devotion, without ahankar, without anasuyantaha. Sorry, anasuyantaha, not anusuyantaha, anasuyantaha. Okay, suyantaha means with envy, anasuyantaha means without envy. So Prabhupada is making it. There are many philosophers who have written comments on Bhagavad Gita, but with no faith on Krishna. So they will never be liberated from one. So until otherwise you are fully faithful on the teacher who gives you the knowledge, you will never get that particular knowledge in full essence, in as it is. Sarvajnana vimudastan vidhi nashtan achetasaha. So if they don't follow, what will happen? But what when yetva etat abhyashuyanto nanu tishtanti me matam sarvajnana vimudastan vidhi nashtan. So if they don't follow me, if they don't follow these instructions and they do not regularly do activities, what will become? They do not follow them regularly, or be considered vimudatma, vimuda, perfectly full, perfectly full. Very nice word, no? What is meant by perfectly befooled? Any idea? What is meant by perfect fooling?
Surely he is full.
Surely. Okay. So there is no inch of knowledge, no inch of understanding or to complete full. Okay. So whatever Krishna does is also in a way, if you that is what Prabhupada says. If you want to forget Krishna, Krishna will ensure that you forget Krishna. Even however you try, you will never be able to remember Krishna. If you don't want to love Krishna, Krishna will ensure 100% that you will not love Krishna. Okay. The oxymoron of it was, if you want to love Krishna, if you have that sincere desire, Krishna will 100% ensure that he will make you love Krishna. Okay. If you want to learn about Krishna, if you have that faith, if you have that desire to know about Krishna, if you want to follow principles, Krishna will ensure that he will do it. Okay. He will make you vidwan. He will not make you vimuda. Okay. Yetu etat abhyasuyantaha nanu tashtanti me matam sarvajnana vimudatma, in all sorts of knowledge. Okay. He will totally be. So that is why, like, if you see, Prabhupada will say, there are so many Bhagavatas, so many people who know Bhagavad Gita, left, right, center, they will read the sloka, Ramayana, they will read, but still, if they are not fully this one, there is no purpose, there is no use of it. It all becomes waste. Okay.
Prabhu, sorry, this is a very strong statement. Is there examples of that where Krishna really default?
Yeah. Somewhere Krishna is also very strict, but unfortunately, we are not even understanding he is very strict. Okay, we are in that position. Many of them are in that state that, okay. In the fourth chapter also, Krishna will talk about Vimudatma. But still, that particular Jivatma is, that is what Prabhupada will say. Somebody or ignorant, that they do not know that they are in ignorance. So that is the state of current society. That is where we are. So there is no hope for perfection of life for him. That is what our acharyas are more benevolent, more merciful. They say, if these are people, you just give them prashadam, at least through the sangam, through the lavamatra sadhu sangam, through some little association of devotees. For example, Radharani will beg, Radharani will go and say, oh, this particular devotee is done nicely, please. Even our acharyas will recommend. So even though Krishna is not trying to give anything, at least that is why it is easy to take shelter of the lotus feet of the Acharya. It is easy to take shelter of Radharani. It is easy to take shelter of Nityananda Prabhu, Mahaprabhu, and Balram. Okay, so that they are very benevolent. So that somewhere or the other we will try to get some recommendation to to get into Krishna consciousness. Okay, let's go. Sadrisham chetasaswasya prakrite jnanavan api prakritim yanti bhutani nigraha kim karishyati. Okay. Even a man of knowledge acts according to his own nature, for everyone follows the nature he has acquired from the three modes. What can repression accomplish? Okay, what can repression? So very straightforward. Okay, straightforward way. Unless one is situated on the transcendental platform Krishna consciousness, he cannot free from the influence of mode. Even a man of knowledge act according to his own nature, for everyone follows the nature. So everybody is following the nature because he has acquired from the nature. So what can repression accomplish? Nothing, right? So nigraha means what? What is it? Repression. So whatever be it, the so-called so many spiritualists who outwardly do as this one, they nothing. Okay. So what is more important? It is better to be situated in one's position and try to attain Krishna consciousness under supporting this. So you cannot move away from your position. You will say, oh, I'll do that, I will do that. No. Even a man of knowledge acts according to his nature. So you follow what is your act. That's all. You don't try to replicate, you're trying to copy, you don't, oh, I will do that, I know. Okay. So because everyone follows the nature, I am having these characteristics, I will follow them. That's all. He is acquired from the moods. So Krishna is making it very nice, very straightforward. You don't have to endeavor into various this, that, and all. Follow your own dharma. Follow your own principles. Act according to your swadharma. That's all. So that's what Prabhupada is saying. No one should suddenly give up his prescribed duties and become a so-called yogi or transcendental artificially. It is better to be situated in one's position and try to attain that. So you cannot just like that come out of the material modes. If you are above the transcendental level where you are fully convinced, your mind is fully fixed, your intelligence at highest state, your senses are completely controlled, you are in the sthita dhir state, you see everybody equally, you have a lot of Vaishnava qualities, you are fully dedicated in relationship with Krishna, all those things there, then you can talk about moving away or freeing away. But unless otherwise, you have to follow the rules and regulations of the nature. Rules and regulations of nature here means the laws of karma. Okay. So laws of karma is not that easy to transcend. You cannot just let it say, okay, I'm moving out of this laws of nature. Until otherwise you are in this prakriti. You can, for example, we are in Singapore, we have to follow. There's nothing called, I will not follow. I know, no. Until otherwise you go out of Singapore, you cannot. There's no escape to it. Right? Similarly, until otherwise you are this material world, you have to follow the law of karma, the law, rules and regulations. So that way you are supposed to, then only you can come out of the transcendence. Otherwise, you cannot simply say, oh, I will not do it. Okay, this is also, what are the stumbling blocks of path of realization? What are the stumbling blocks? Even in second chapter, we saw, what is it? Raga dveshu. Okay, tayorn have asamasi. So in second chapter, we saw what is that attachment. So if we have attachment, it is a big stumbling block to our spiritual growth or whatever be it, right? So again, that is all because of what? Indriyartebhyaha. Same way, indriyasya artate. Indriyartasya. So indriyasya arte. So senses and sense object. Because of that, ragadveshu vyavastitau. Tayor navasam achit. Tau hi asya paripantitau. Okay, so paripantitau means nothing but stumbling block. So what is more important? There are principles to regulate attachment and aversion pertaining to senses and their objects. One should not come under the control of such attachment and aversion because they are stumbling. So we have to ensure that there are some principles that will regulate attachment. So we'll have to follow that. Okay. One should not come under the control of that attachment. Once we are under the total of attachment and aversion, aversion here means totally aversion of the material nature, totally aversion to the to the Krishna conscious way, totally aversion to that particular thing. It is more of my mind, ahankara. Okay, and then attachment also. So you should never come under that particular control. Okay, that is why Prabhupada is also making it very nicely. Those who are in Krishna conscious are naturally reluctant to engage in material sense gratification. But those who are not in such such consciousness should follow the rules and regulations of the revealed scripture. So you have to follow the rules and regulations, because ensure that you don't get into lot of, unless unrestricted sense enjoyment is a cause of material attachment. Okay. So what is the cause of material entanglement? What is the cause of bondage? Unrestricted sense enjoyment. We don't have restriction, right? So whatever be it, we are trying to get more and more things. We'll try to add more fuel to the fire kind of thing. We'll keep on enjoying. Okay? So it is actually creating more and more bondage to us. So Prabhupada is talking about all this sexual enjoyment, which everybody can understand, right? So we go away, we go astray, we go away from our rules and regulations, and then we are in the complete doom or complete destruction. Okay. Prabhupada is making nicely. Therefore, in spite of regulated sense enjoyment, there is every chance of falling down. Even though there is a regulated sense enjoyment, there is every other chance of falling down. So therefore, any attachment to regulated sentiment must also be avoided by attachment. So even though we have rules and regulations, but still we are getting into attachment. Okay. So that is why channelizing that attachment, moving away from that materialistic attachment to the Krishna conscious attachment alone will be. That is what the higher taste we saw in second chapter about Raga Dvesha. We saw about how we come about that raga, come about that attachment is moving from a lower taste to a higher taste. So we cannot go away from taste. We cannot go away from enjoying. We cannot go away from attachment. But still, when we go above that particular highest state, then we are safe. We are okay. That is what we are saying. Therefore, one should try to get detached from. No one should try to detached from Krishna consciousness, but should be attached to Krishna consciousness, but detached to the materialistic way. Okay, the whole purpose of detachment from all kinds of enjoyment is ultimately to become situated with Krishna. Okay, so be very clear on what is meant by attachment and what is meant by detachment. Detachment refers to detachment to material world. Attachment means not attached to material life, but attached to the Krishna conscious way. Okay, I think we'll stop here. Maybe one more sloka, 35, we'll stop. Shreyan hi swadharmo vigunaha paradharma tanutishita swadharme nidanam shreya paradharmo. So this is also in a way, it is far better to discharge one's prescribed duties even though faultily than another's duty. Sometimes this is also another problem. No, I'm not able to do this. Okay, let me do this activity. Let me take up some other role. No. Krishna is making it Shreyan swadharmaha vigunaha. Shreyan, which is better. But even if you are whatever duty as a Kshatriya or a Brahmana or a Vaishya or a Sudra you're trying to perform, it is your duty, you do it. Even though it is fault, it is better than paradharmat anushrita. Swadharme nidanam shreyaha. Paradharma bhaya avaha. It is bhaya avaha. It is more dangerous to do others' duty than to wrongfully perform your own duty. Okay, so he is making it very nicely. You have to follow. If you follow Krishna way, you can really understand Krishna consciousness in a way where he is bringing that karma portion so nicely. Okay, till this sloka will stop. This sloka is all about what? Shreyan swadharmo vigunaha paradharma tanutishta swadharme nidanam shreya paradharmo bhayavakaha. Shreyan swadharmo. So follow your swadharmo. Paradharma anushita, instead of doing better, because swadharma nidanam shreya. So nidanam. So it is better to follow swadharma, because if you follow others, what will be paradharmo bhayavaka? It is destruction. Okay, it will completely destroy you, and it will create more bhayavaka. It will create more problem, more danger. Okay, that is why Prabhupada is emphasizing this Daiva Varnashrama Dharma. You cannot just like that, move away from this Dharma to Dharma, this, that to Dashan. No. Just to follow Krishna way. Then you will be much more clear. Okay, let's stop here. Then we will. Prabhupada is giving this example of Vishwamitra. He wanted this Vishwamitra and Parasurama, right? Vishwamitra wanted to become a Brahma Rishi. Even though he was born from a Kshatriya family, he wanted, but he couldn't control his mind. He had to undergo a lot of tapasya. Finally, he became a Brahma Rishi, right? So, but what Prabhupada is saying, he had to undergo so much of difficulty just to become that Brahma Rishi, right? Okay, I think we'll stop here. Next 10 more slokas are there. Then we will continue tomorrow, I mean on Wednesday, and then try to complete this third chapter. Today we saw very nicely, last from 15 to 30, 15 slokas we saw. It is all about leadership qualities, where Krishna emphasizes the point that you have to perform your duty, follow the great leaders like Janaka, and since you are a leader, you have to perform your duty. And I am also doing it because I don't, because others follow. Actually, I don't have to really do anything. And if I don't do it, others will not do it. It will become a discipline. That is the first section. Second section is perform your duty without any nirmama, nirahankara, and with faith and devotion. For me, if you do it for me, then you are always in the correct direction and correct principles. Okay, that's what we said. Okay, I think we stop here. 34th sloka. Next Wednesday, we'll try to take 36 to 43, 10 slokas. We'll try to complete this. Okay. So my suggestion, please go through the translation and purport whenever you get time, and then just read through this. Okay, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, and the Koti Vaishnava.
Yes.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna. Thank you,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna,
Hare
Able
Krishna.
to move the class to
Hare
another
Krishna,
day.
Prabhuji.